One application of typical analytics is segmentation, and I'm going to show you how we can develop a customer segmentation model with Statistica. So what is customer segmentation? What we really want to do is divide your customer base into groups that are very similar in specific ways. And the reason that we want to do that is because a good customer segmentation model will allow you to do two different things. It'll allow you to really appropriate your marketing resources in the most effective way, but it's also going to help you maximize both cross-sell and upsell opportunities as well. So good customer segmentation models help you to make more money. And let's look at how we can do that with Statistica. So with Statistica, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we developed this customer segmentation model. And we're doing several things within one workflow. And that's one of the benefits of Statistica and TIBCO products. And in this instance, we've already had data prepared and visualized in Spotfire. And we wanted to bring the data into this workflow utilizing one of our Spotfire data import nodes. We now can look at the information related to individual customers across our portfolio. And the first thing that we want to do is we want to develop a segmentation model and see how that applies across the different models that we're going to develop. So what we're going to do is we're going to develop a segmentation model based upon a classification and regression tree. So in this analytic mode, we're going to create a customer segmentation model around what is their current balance. And that's what we're going to really focus on in this example. So we're going to look at different properties of these individual customers and put them into a segmented model. And we can look at this model in a tree format. So we can see that we are binning or creating a segmentation model based upon similarities primarily around the amount of credit that they have, as well as the number of previous credits at this bank. And that's how we're going to develop this segmentation model. But how does this perform? In order to determine how this performs, we want to develop multiple models and find that model that best represents the data. So in order to do that, we're going to use Statistica to find that model that best represents the data. So we're going to segment this model in Statistica, segment all of our customers. And that's one of the things that Statistica allows you to do within the node. So if we look at our code generator, you can see that we can develop rules that pass directly into one of our rules nodes. And in this rules node, we are developing segments that we can then apply to the data that's going into our model. And we're going to develop three different types of models: classification and regression trees, shade, as well as boosted trees. Three different types of models that are included in Statistica's data mining library. Once we develop those models, we can pass test data that has already been prepared in Spotfire to our rapid deployment node. And when we do that, we can look at the accuracy of those models in an error rate spreadsheet. So we now get an estimate of the error between our cart, shade, and boosted tree model. And we do see that the boosted tree model is the one with the least error. So what we want to do is to develop individual models for each segment that we've created in our rules node. So that's something that would typically take you quite a while to complete. But what we're going to do is we're going to use the segments that were created and use one very simple feature for by group analysis. We're still going to create models on those segments, but we only have to choose one option to take that predicted value of the segments and pass that to many different models at the same time. So essentially what we're doing is we're creating models for each segment of data and utilizing a segmented model for this analytic job. And what we can do is we can actually compare the observed versus predicted residuals from the omnibus model to the segmented model. And an easy way to do that is to take the segmented model, pass it to our rapid deployment engine, and rerun rapid deployment. And when we do that, we can see that if we take the data from our segmented model, we decrease the error quite substantially. So that's a brief description of how we can complete customer segmentation with Statistica.